Good morning and welcome to your favorite breakfast show, right with CUMT Television, Channel 44. I am Tamba Stephen Komba.
And I am Rama So. In the program this morning, we shall be discussing issues that has to do with Jacob Suspense, principal of the then Canadian College of Modern Technology. He shall be sharing with us his experience after spending about 32 years in the United States of America, and why he decided to come to Sierra Leone, mile 91 to be specific. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm once more. Good morning and welcome to CUMT Television.
Good morning, Tamba.
Yeah. By the way, who is Jacob Suspense?
Wow, that's a loaded question. But I always like to start from where it all started.
Yeah.
One of 8 children born in a village of Betfumayawa, which is in Bonkolenke Chiefdom, right next from here.
Okay, so you mean you are coming from the center of Sierra Leone?
Yes,
Okay.
Lille is the center of Sierra Leone, and I grew up there.
Okay. All right, continue.
So I'm one of 8 children, raised by a single mom because her father died when we were small. But then we were very lucky in Lille. We had both an elementary, or what you call primary school, and a secondary school. So I attended both primary and secondary school in Lille. And I was able to complete my Form 5 there and pass my GCE then, which was, so it was GCE 7 subjects. Then I went to Nigeria to what they now call Babcock University. That's where I did my bachelor's. And after that, I went to the United States.
Okay. And so basically, just tell us something about your school days. Were you that boisterous person?
Well, I was raised by missionaries. One of the criticisms people usually say is that I'm dull. Because when you are raised by missionaries, the Seventh-day Adventist Church, you grow up, you cannot drink, so I still don't drink wine. You don't smoke. You have to follow all the rules. So very much, but we still do some mischievous things. Some of them I will not tell, but as students, we still do some things which, we hear from the missionaries. Yes.
Okay, so how was it like traveling to Nigeria?
Well, Nigeria...
Was it your first time foreign traveling?
Yes. I remember getting a plane in Longay, and it was Nigerian Airways. And growing up, they always told us about planes. But when we got there, it was with one lady called Margaret. We are all from the village. So the plane opened up, and I said, "Where's the belt?" Because they usually tell you there's a belt. So we would travel. I was afraid after a while, and we flew from here to Ghana. My biggest surprise was getting to Murtala Mohammed International Airport. As we were walking, the door just opened. Nobody was there. I'm like, wait a minute, how come the door just opened? So it was the Munku thing showed up.
So what's your experience in Nigeria so far? What was your experience?
Nigeria, to me, is still the greatest country in Africa. Because what they did in Nigeria was to engage you from day one. The professors, they didn't care. You had to learn. There is no shortcut. But the good thing is, when we went there as Australians, we were the best students. It was 6 of us, we were the best students in the college. So when people think about Sierra Leone being behind, in our brains, we are still the best in Africa. So we did well. I spent 6 years in Nigeria instead of 4 because I didn't have the money to pay the fees. But that's another story.
Okay. Yeah. So it was then you left for the United States? Or
I came back to Sierra Leone to teach, and you'll be surprised at my first job. I was chaplain and Bible teacher at the secondary school.
Wow.
But then I had a big house. So because I'm chaplain and Bible teacher, by the way, I was only 23. So I was this little kid walking around with a big house, but my salary was only 300 euros. So I really had no money.
Well, that was a huge money then.
Yeah, that was a lot of money. So, but I lived very well. I had a well-furnished house, gas cooker. It took me a while to learn how to use the gas. But then, because of that experience, I spent 2 years. Then, I went to America. And how I went to America, it has to be in my book. It's a very strange story. But I went to America, and I spent 33 years.
So, how did you actually find yourself on the shores of the United States?
Well, see, that's why I don't like journalists. I said that story being another thing. Well, basically, I had a girlfriend.
Okay.
And she went to America. So, after a while, she decided to basically buy me tickets. And I went there, but that girlfriend never married me because she left me after I got there. So, but she got me to America, that's how I went.
So what inspired you to come to Sierra Leone? Because like some Sierra Leoneers are saying that it's better to live in America than to come to Sierra Leone. So what inspired you to come to Sierra Leone?
We have a saying in America about lawyers. I've said this before, if you want a good lawyer, fine. But if you want an excellent lawyer, the lawyer has to know the judge. Because when you go to the case, the lawyer already knows the judge. So what really inspired me, number one, was I knew the owner of this place, Moksinsi said. We had worked together before as journalists. So when he asked me to come and help, I decided that was the number one. But the number two, and maybe the most important thing, I wanted to be here and touch people because in America we are very good at criticizing. So I'll go to work, come home, drink, eat my food, then sit in the basement and talk about what's wrong with Sierra Leone, how things are terrible there. Well, I was never here. So for me, coming here will help me to touch the hearts of people, to talk with young people. Then I can write from experience, not from my brain. That's why I came.
Okay. So let me just take you back to the United States. It's a place that I normally refer to as a heaven on earth.
Yes.
Basically, most people travel to America to get a greener pasture. So are you one of those people that actually went to seek for a greener pasture?
Well, yeah, once I got there and the girlfriend left me, I had to prove to her. When you go Google out the word Cumt is one of the worst places in America because it's for all these gangs. If you listen to rap music, that's why Snoop Dogg, all of them. So I went to Cumt for 2 months, when my girlfriend left me. Then I moved to Virginia. So I worked 2 jobs every day. So we did build the African dream and the American dream. I have a house in Freetown, 8 bedroom. I have a house. Okay, see, I have 2 Mercedes here. So don't ask me how I got them. Don't ask me. I got 2 Mercedes here. But again, so the American dream is fine. I built it. I can go anywhere. So money is not an issue because at least what I wear or eat is not a problem. So build the American dream. Me and my wife, my late wife.
So by the way, are you an American citizen?
Oh yeah, of course. When I went there, the first thing I did was to get my green card.
Okay.
That's less than a year. Don't tell me I did it, but I'm always a go-getter. So then I got my citizenship. So right now, if I don't want to work, I can move to the US, just sit there and get my social security.
So which means you are no longer qualified to contest for president.
Oh, no. The new government has already come up with a new schedule where all of us, America, I'm a double citizen. I'm both a Sierra Leone and American citizen. So I have 2 passports.
So you have 2 SIMs.
Yes. 2 SIM. I'm a 2 SIM.
Okay.
Okay, so Mr. Principal, we need to understand that you've been in Sierra Leone for the past 3 years. So what's your experience with people, maybe with the administration or the environment? What's your experience so far?
Well, one thing I must say is Sierra Leoneans are good people. Generally, people are good. Well, when somebody is going through hardship, it's very hard to be honest. It's very hard to tell people, their mind. So it's a mixed bag. My biggest experience is the young people are extremely talented. If you all don't believe me, I see all your YouTube, I'm online all the time, and I see your posting. Although some of the postings are not, but people are connected. They know what's happening around the world. That's something in the diaspora we don't think much about. So we have a feature of young people who are extremely talented. I've also been ripped off here. I've been duped when people come and cry and I give them money and say like. So that's I've done. So it's a mix, but that's everywhere in the world. So Sierra Leone is no different from America or Nigeria. People will praise you when they need money.
Let me just take you again to the United States. And basically, United States, I know, having spent 32 years in the United States, you must have had a lot of experiences.
Yes.
Now, what are the most intriguing moments you had in the United States?
Well, there's something that many people don't realize. America is based on what you can do, not what you have up here. So when I came here, my biggest surprises, and again, being in the university, I'm not condemning education. You do have to have an education. But it's that class system here. If I'm a professor, you shouldn't talk to me. So it's a different thing. In the US, it's like a common field. So this lady could be a cleaner, and she could make more money than you, the professor. So Bunko could make more money than me. Depends on the kind of service he offers. So America is based on what you can do and how well you can do it. A comedian called Bill Cosby, he had a PhD in education, but he decided to be a comedian, and he made millions of dollars. So that's what has made America great, in that everybody can contribute in the economy. It's not just because you have a PhD. And again, I'm not trying to condemn education. The only reason I am where I am today is education, but you have to do more than just have a paper degree. You have to produce. That's America.
Okay, so how long have you been back to Sierra Leone?
I've been here. I came here in April 2019. So if you look at it, it's more than 2 years. More than 2.5 years.
And why did you decide to come back to Sierra Leone?
Well, I said it before, but I'll say it again. I decided to come because I wanted to get a hand on young people. I wanted to be involved in the development of the country, so that if I ever go back to America, to settle, I always go there. I can talk out of experience, not based on what people say.
Okay. So you left the country actually, you spent something like 32 years in the United States. Mm-hmm. Did you actually find it difficult to actually adapt to the Sierra Leonean ways of doing things?
It's always hard. I do pretend. One of the things my kid says, Daddy, you always pretend. So many times I pretend everything's okay, but it's not. Because if you live in America for 32 years, things are not the same. One of the funny things I hear you say, and I say, hey, Salona like America. Well, I don't know which America you guys are talking about. It's difficult here. But the good thing is there are advantages and disadvantages. Now, I can wake up in the morning and take a walk. When I was in America, I was so busy. Like every morning, I would leave my house 5 o'clock and I'd come back 10 because it's just busy. So, yes, there are many problems here, but the thing is, there are potentials. I think that's what brought me.
Okay, so like most comments that we have been hearing from people living in the West, that Africans do eat grass and leaves and other things. So what do you have to say about the food that you have tasted so fancy?
I am a born, bred, and raised Sierra Leonean. So even when I was in America, we always ate our cassava leaves. We always ate our cream. The thing about Sierra Leone in the diaspora is that we do not live our Sierra Leonean culture. So if you go to my house in Virginia, you will eat rice and plasas almost every day. So coming back here, the only difference is we don't eat frozen food here. You know, in America, my late wife would cook, and the same cassava leaves, I'll eat it for 1 week. You know, you just be warming on microwave, warm on microwave. But here, of course, I do have a lady who cooks Maria too. Of course, she just comes from the market. So I eat fresh food every day. So to me, that's a big advantage. That's why at my age, I still look fresh.
Okay.
During your stay in the United States, do you actually encounter any discriminatory attitude from the youth?
Well, I'm talking on Sierra Leonean TV, and I have to make it clear. America is a very good country, but we also have racism there. So one day, I was driving from my son's college, and I told him, be careful because there are so many cops, we call them cops and police here. But you see, I have this very expensive car, which, usually is for diplomats. So the police saw me and they pulled me over. I'm in the middle of the lane. So let me see your license. To me, that sounded like discrimination because there is this black guy, he's wearing shorts and he's driving a very expensive car. But apart from that, there are people who have never experienced what we know as Africans. Because all is old movies that talk about Africans running after monkeys, so they don't know. But again, out of that discrimination, there are many Americans who are very helpful. I grew up in America almost for 33 years. All the help I got were mostly, white Americans. So yes, there is racism, just like there's tribalism in Sierra Leone sometimes. So it's everywhere. But again, when you know that this is the system, you work with it. So I never really went and fought with people who are racist. I avoided it.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier that you've been to the United States for the past 32 years, and you came back to your motherland. So how can you assess the cultural practices in Sierra Leone?
Well, the problem we have in Sierra Leone is the word authentic. We are not authentic because we do like to pretend. You see, how can a man say, praise the Lord, then turn around and steal my coffee? So, I mean, that happens everywhere in the world. But in Sierra Leone, it's too obvious. We use religion to kind of numb you. Or how can you say, oh, I hate this lady, she sleeps around, but you gossip. Gossiping is as bad as somebody sleep around. So I think that's the culture we need to get out of. So that don't judge people because we are all, I always say we are all rotten. So try to build on the best. So if I see Precious, I shouldn't go and look for the bad thing, but look for what Precious is good at. She has a good voice. If I see Akim, she can use the camera. So let's build on what somebody is good at, not what they are bad at. I think that's the problem with this.
Okay, so Sierra Leone, we all know Sierra Leone is a land full of milk and honey. So can you please tell us the most interesting place you have visited in Sierra Leone?
Well, I love
it. Is interesting.
Well, so all my life, I've always wanted to go to places that are natural. So I remember driving on Cabal Road one time. Just see people sitting on the roadside. I still admire. So you guys don't know, many times when you guys say, I'll take my car, drive all the way to 47, what do you call it, Masheka. Just seeing people sitting on the roadside, they're not worried about bills. In America, we're just worried about everything. It's just the laid-back thing. So I still love Yale. That's my hometown.
Okay, so during your stay in the States, did you actually miss Sierra Leone?
Oh yeah, we miss Sierra Leone. That's why when we have a party in America, it's all Sierra Leonean food. Because to live in a country, right now it's November, it's very cold, very cold. So to live in a country where the weather changes, you have to wear all this, so yeah, that kind of mess up. So I do miss Sierra Leone. I love Sierra Leone. I just need, some of the things, I just need to be more sensible. Because I've been ripped up, but try to know that some of this is normal. If somebody is hungry and they want food, Sierra Leoneans are very good at making up stories.
Okay.
Yes.
So we'll be back after this break.
This is the Canadian University of Modern Technology. Here, we move a little differently. We are the change makers, the innovators. We are solving the problems of the 21st century. We create, we lead, we inspire. Beginning your journey at Canadian University is opening your chapter to success. Here, we are a family that works together to make the change today for a better Sierra Leone and world tomorrow. Here is a home for you. Canadian University of Modern Technology, a place where careers begin.
Okay, welcome back. Still with us in the studio is the principal of the then Canadian College of Modern Technology.
Yes, let's now focus on your return to Sierra Leone, and I'm trying to be precise. Most people might be tempted to say you actually came to Sierra Leone to come and make money. Do you agree with them, or do you have something contrary to that?
Well, that's funny because, first of all, let's take the Leone to dollar. A dollar here. I mean, if you take a leon, 100 leons, or let's say 1,000 leons, it's only $1. So basically, I mean, America is still the richest country now. I mean, I can easily make $500. So if you make $500, you change that to leons. That already gives you $5 million. So the idea of coming here to make money is laughable. Because as I told you, by the way, I have 3 grown kids. My oldest daughter, Donna, she is what you call a traveling nurse. So what she makes a week is more than what I make here in a year. Just that. So coming here to make money is the last thing. I came here, even the shop. Some of you know I have a shop in Bafune. It's been more than us. I spent more than 200 million to open that shop. I haven't made even 50 or 30 million. But I just feel when you come to a country, you have to contribute. The people of Bafune are sitting there is no shop. So no, we never came here to make money. Mr. Moxie himself knows, yeah, the school, the college takes good care of me. I have a house which I don't pay for, a car. So the college does a very good thing. But that doesn't mean I'm making money, to become rich. I'm here to live so that I can also help other people.
Yeah. As per your age and your experience and having spent a whole lot of 32 years in the United States, how can you compare the political trend between Sierra Leone and that of
Here you go again with politics. Well, this is the thing. Politics will always be different depending on where you are.
Yeah, sure.
As far as I'm concerned, Sierra Leone is well constructed. We have a constitution. We had free and fair elections because we've had 5 consecutive elections.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember we had Sujan Kaba, he won. But then after 2 years, the APC won. They've been there 2 years. And President Madabio won. So we have free and fair elections, as far as I can read from outside. As for how people govern, that depends. Every government has their own plan. The one thing I like about this government is the free and fair education. Because I grew up in Yile and I had no money, so I dropped out of school twice. First in class 3, I dropped out. Then in Form 1, I dropped out and became a farmer. So having that free education is time. Well, again, I'm not here to support a party. Any government that's in power, as a school administrator, I have to support the government.
So which means,
which
means you are either APC nor SLPP?
No. I'm a Democrat in American politics. That I can always say I'm a Democrat because in America, we did kick out Trump. I went to vote. Okay. So that I can say, but here I am whoever is in power.
So, but anyway, do you have any political intention?
No, I mean at my age, no, I don't think so. But again, they say never say never. Never say, if you all come up and say be president and vote for me, maybe one of these days. But right now, no. I think my best politics is to help young people get your education and if you are the president and I want to see you, I will beat up your section to see you. Yes.
Okay, so America is a developed country and you have lived there for the past 32 years and you came back here to your mother's land. What are the things, or where are the areas you want to, let me say, what are the areas you suggest should be improved? Yes.
Well, the one thing about Sierra Leone, I always say, be yourself. Don't copy Americans. Don't copy Ghanaians. The biggest thing with the young people there, you have so much. I see all your TikTok. It's fine. But do a TikTok that is local, but everybody wants to be American. And the American you want to be, that's the wrong American. Because when you go to the US, people are busy working. We don't have time. We have iPhones. So be authentic. Secondly, be truthful. Tell the truth. If you are poor, you are poor. Many people try to present, I'm from the village. I'm not ashamed of it. So let's be authentic, then let's support each other. Be concerned about yourself. The thing that bothers me is everybody wants to know who sleep with Florence, who sleep with no. Be concerned about your own life. If you are concerned, then you can build your life. But if all your life you are concerned about other people, you wouldn't have time to develop. That's why after work, I go home and stay there and I do my research. So let's be concerned about ourselves, but let's be proud of what we have. You don't have to go to America to be a great person. You can be right here and build wealth.
So basically, will you mind telling us what you like doing during your leisure time?
Oh, my leisure time, of course, I'm a writer, so I like writing every day. I like Facebook, so some of you are my Facebook friends.
Have you done any publications?
Well, let me make an announcement here. I have somebody in this room who is my publicist, and they are supposed to send my articles, but I'm not going to call their names. I have a publicist sitting right, because I believe in somebody. I've also written a book, okay, from Freetown to Lagos. That's published on Amazon, so it's online. But knowing that this is Sierra Leone, I have to publish the hard copy. So that book is there. If any of you want to see it, I can hook you up, you can read it. But I'm going to publish that, yes. So I'm going to also start writing articles. Not political, but non-political.
Okay,
yes.
So let me say for the past 2 years that you've been in Sierra Leone, what are your challenges so far?
The biggest challenge, I already told you, people not being authentic. They tell you one thing, but they mean something else. Then the other thing is somebody trying to come and tarnish another person in my class. Students do that to students, and sometimes even, people who are adults. I don't like you telling me how bad this person is. Tell me how good they are and let me find out how bad they are. But apart from that, I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Okay.
So coming back to Sierra Leone 91 precisely, who do you normally share company with? Like a friend, you sit and share ideas and so on? Who is your
Well, everybody is a friend. Let me tell you, when Bonko wanted to marry...
High profile,
No, I'm not on high profile, I'm Mr. Everybody. When Bonko wanted to marry, Bonko, the cleaner, I drove all the way to his village and was part of the marriage. When Agnes, the lady who does procure, wanted to marry, I went to McKinney as part of the marriage. When Milton, Mr. Milton wanted to marry, I went to Waterloo. So I've been part of the group there. So usually, the only thing, I'm very private. So usually after work, because anything I say could be misconstrued, so I don't share what we as a school want to do, because that's I'm sorry I told her about the party, but usually I don't tell people.
Yeah.
So usually I spend a lot of time on YouTube, a lot of time watching videos.
Yeah, as someone who has traveled extensively and you've acquired, you are endowed with a wealth of experience. So, what message or what of advice will you have?
Well, I'll give this advice now to students, not socially. As a student, you have to be independent. Don't go with the crowd. The crowd will leave you behind. Secondly, work on what you're good at. If you can, I cannot sing, so I never joined the choir. So if you are good at taking pictures, work on that and be the best picture man in Israel. If you are good in voice, because what happens is that people try to develop a talent that's not theirs. My talent is writing, and every day I make money. You all don't know. When you see me sitting there, I'm making money. The other day, a lady just called me, "Oh, I'm dying. Can you edit this paper? I'll give you $150. I remember this 1.5 million. I'm like, send it. It took me 25 minutes, I'm done. So I made 1.5 million in just editing. So work on what you're good at. Don't try to be on something that you know you can never be. Of course, in a bachelor's, you have to do all courses. So you have to be good. But at the end, when you're done, try to focus on what you're good at. While you need general knowledge, don't spend all your time wanting to be a computer science student if you're not. If you're mass comm, build on mass comm, so that anytime the opportunity comes, you guys can take care of it.
Okay. Coming back from serving as a principal for the then Canadian College, now Canadian University, what were some of the challenges actually you faced in actually trying to administer?
I think the students who've been here long. When I came here, they used to call me Mr. New Direction, because I just believe in action. If I say fix this door, you say yes. I don't see why I should come back 2 days later. The door is not fixed. So when we first got here, the kitchen was in a bad mess and we had to change it. So my biggest challenge here is people not doing the things they are supposed to do until it's too late. The other thing is people coming to work late. If you're a construction worker, why should we come 10 o'clock? Come 6 o'clock before the sun is up. So the work ethic is my biggest problem, because I grew up here and we used to, I grew up with missionaries. Missionaries have no room. Like, if they say 8 o'clock, it's 8 o'clock. I never had a problem with time. So that was a challenge, but it has changed. CCMT has really changed CMT. Because now, when we give people a job, we expect them to do it. If they don't, to fire them. I know it was very hard. I remember when I got rid of the first lady working here, a whole delegation came. They said how the lady's family will suffer. But then, you should think of that. So it's the work ethic. But I think things are changing, especially in our campus.
Okay. Do you intend going back to the United States to settle permanently?
That's a loaded question. Depends. I'm home. This is home. But as I said, that's also home. So it depends. If things, if the country gets unstable and I can't live here, in my life is in danger. Yeah? I have a house in Virginia. But for now, this is my home.
Okay, so what will be your message to your fellow Americans who stay abroad, who want to come back to their mother's land, to build and develop?
Yeah, let me look at the camera. So this is for all those people in America who think Africa is so backwards. The mosquito bites me, the snake, all that thing. Well, it's all in your heart. I live in Virginia. I lived in a nice part. But I've been to Washington, D.C., Southeast, where people live in a very bad place. So it all depends on you. So if your intention of coming home is to look at the bad things the snakes and the rats of, you see them. But I think the good thing is to see that, as I said, we live in the rural area. Here when I wake up, I'm not worried about the smog. I'm not worried about how bad things are because I can breathe. So, but if the intention also is to come and help, you come and help instead of just, sitting and criticize. Yes. Things are not going to be easy. If you are not the person who could take a mosquito bite, who could see a snake pass, then you might have a problem. You might stay in freezer. But the good thing is, here in my house in Virginia, not in Virginia, in my 91, I have DSTV. So I watch all the channels. I have air conditioning. And I have a cook. Can you believe I have a cook? A lady cooking for me. In America, no, I couldn't afford a cook. So so it depends on what you want, but we need to come back and help. If you don't want to come here and stay, maybe you can volunteer, especially at the university. You will really love it because you talk to young people who are eager to learn, and you are going to be very happy at the end that you contributed to them.
All right, this is where we end the program this morning. But before we go, a quick reminder of the quote of the day, which says, if you are physically fit, hungry to learn and be better, I urge you to travel as far, as widely as possible. Sleep on floors if you have to. Find out how other people live and eat and cook. Learn from them wherever you go.
And it's coming from Anthony Weldon, who was an American celebrity, chef, author, and travel documentarian, and steer at programs focusing on the exploration of international culture. I've been Lamaso.
And I have been Thomas Stephen Combat.
Till then, have a nice day.